Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and today I have a really interesting interview for you. A bit different than what we do in a normal channel. And we're not doing reviewing a truck, we're not reviewing a car, not talking about an issue, we're talking about jobs. I always think jobs are something that always doesn't get mentioned very much in the media. But in this case, I want to talk about jobs, and we're going to talk about automotive jobs. And Scott Trainor has this website, which you'll learn more about connecting people in the industry with new jobs, improving their pay, improving their opportunities, and finding ways to keep the industry growing. And I think it's really interesting stuff because we talk a lot on this channel about reliability, about recalls and such, but who's going to fix it? At the end of the day, you need to have people at dealership who are trained and who are ready to fix these vehicles. And with a massive shortage projected of mechanics in the industry, I just thought it was a really interesting interview, talk about a variety of things. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's go and get the interview right now. All
So
right.
USA Motor Jobs, we launched it a year and a half ago, obviously during the worst timing, during COVID.
Yeah.
We decided to launch a career site, but now it's really taken off. It's going quickly. It's to connect automotive job seekers and employers. We are dedicated to the industry, and we're changing the ways that people connect as well. You're no longer using a traditional resume. You're simply building a profile. So the employers are building profiles, you're building profiles. It actually is more like a dating site than it is. Yeah.
Do you swipe?
We're coming out with the swipe feature. We are coming out with the swipe feature. It's as simple as that. We started in Canada. My partner started 15 years ago with autojobs.ca, unrelated to autojobs.com. He sold that, started Canada Motor Jobs. It went well enough back home. We got the market that we decided to come down to the States and expand. Now we have groups, Sonic's on board, Echo Park, Mile One, Auto Nation came on, Penske, Hertz, they're all with us. And now we just need to reach out and find more candidates. That's what it comes down to. We have all the jobs.
So, I mean, I guess in layman's terms, I always think of like job searching, like I go to my local dealership, whatever, or, there's Indeed, there's different places like this, but I mean, is it better to be specialized? Is it easier to find jobs being specialized like that?
The employers like it better, yes, because it's people dedicated to the industry. Indeed is big because of their marketing, but people aren't necessarily. Some people are just looking for any job. Some people are just looking to keep their stimulus check going, or when they had it, or to keep their unemployment check, or a bunch of Indeeders, ZipRecruiters, not even the candidates aren't even in the country, and they're just trying to come in. Everybody wants to live in America. I mean, I did too, but I'm here.
You no, wait, you probably got tired of shoveling snow.
I did. And I'm complaining actually right now that it's cold in Florida because it's like 70 something degrees, but at home it's like 30. So it's all relative what cold is. But no, those are our big competitors, but nobody's really done an industry dedicated how we're doing it down here. So
do you do, I mean, everything from the dealership level? Like, do you do mechanics?
Yeah, everything from receptionist to dealer principals.
Right.
Whatever you want to be working the detailing, you want to be a porter, you want to be a salesman, mechanic, working collision. It's all on there.
So I mean, I read all the time and hear all the time about massive upcoming shortages with mechanics, right? So kids aren't going to trade schools anymore, and then you get vehicles like Mercedes-Benz. I remember when I started Mercedes-Benz, and some of the techs there make six figures because the cars are so complex to work on, so much computer involved that it's a whole different mindset. I mean, the mix of jobs that you're seeing, are you seeing mechanics being more of an issue, or are you seeing more,
Definitely mechanics. Salespeople come and go, but then even again, we're starting to see salespeople leaving the automotive industry. The culture isn't what it was before. In terms of now, it's a lot of corporate, a lot of pay cuts, a lot of the dealers need to adjust with the times as well. A lot of actually salesmen, I'm in some of the groups, they've gone to solar, they've gone to, well, a salesman's a salesman. If you could sell something, you could sell anything. But mechanics is definitely what they have the shortage. I mean, we have one guy offering a $15,000 sign-on bonus for a techs. But that where the automotive industry really has to adapt to what we found, what we're trying to advocate for is to adjust with the times now for the salaries for the techs. Some of these places are still offering $15 an hour, $16 an hour for an entry level tech, but they can make that they can make $18 at McDonald's down the street right here. So
I didn't make $18 an hour when I worked at my McDonald's, I'll tell you that much.
No, and that's obviously the $18 is because of the shortage, but that's what they're at now.
Yeah.
McDonald's has retention bonuses even now. If you stay on for 6 months, they give you $1,000 on an iPhone, at least the ones here in Florida. That's where it's come to. But the automotive dealers haven't, and even the service advisors, the pay plans against cut. So we're really trying to work with the industry as well, and trying to get them to realize and wake up, because people aren't stupid, especially now with technology everywhere. And the generation, they'll do their research. So they're seeing door rates going up. They're seeing shop supplies charged on every work order, but their salaries are not going up accordingly. And even the kids that are starting off, that it's hard enough to get people into trade schools in the first place. And now if the kid's, okay, I'm going to do a trade because regular college isn't for me, I don't want a university degree. Now he's going to Google, do I want to be a automotive technician? Do I want to be a plumber? Do I want to be a welder? Or do I want to be an electrician? Automotive still pays a lot, at least. It's the least paid by a lot out of all of them. So you really have to work on cars. You really have to like working on cars.
Sure.
Because the information's out there. We are working with different associations, though. We're working with Lincoln Tech, which is a trade school. We're working with other schools really to try find new ways to market. So we're going to car shows, we're going to car events to really get them when they're young, just while they're still in high school and they're going around looking at all these cool cars. I mean, my vehicles are wrapped. I have some interesting vehicles, and they're wrapped USA Motor Jobs, just to get people interested in the industry. So that's a big difference with what we're doing, and with what the difference between Indeed or ZipRecruiter is. We actually care about the industry, and we're trying to advocate for it and bring people into it and trying to make it better instead of just being a regular job board. We're also working with some veterans associations to bring returning men and women back into when they're coming into the workforce and they don't know what to do. They were overseas or they're finished their term. They don't know what to do. Well, we're telling them, hey, the automotive industry, you can make good money if you're good with computers. There's jobs in the automotive industry. These everybody thinks either mechanic or sales. If you're good at, if you're in administration, there's administration jobs in the automotive industry. I mean, you might have worked on tanks. Trust me, any diesel mechanic with any manufacturing diesel will bring you into the garage, and diesel techs are paid very well, at least. And if you're good with people, then you can go into sales. So we're working really to try to bring people in. We even have a couple pilot projects with some penitentiaries for non-violent offenders. Some of them actually have auto mechanics courses in the penitentiaries, and we're getting them to reintegrate into the regular population after they get out, after they've done their time. So we're going a step above to try to help the industry.
Yeah, trying to fill the shortages that, I mean, the numbers I've seen or foreseen for shortages are massive. If you were saying if the pay gets up there and the shortages keep happening, eventually the pay's going to catch up, right? I mean, you got to start driving people to the industry.
No, and that's it. But that's also upsetting a lot of people in the industry. Is they're seeing these big hiring bonuses, but what about the employees that stuck through everything with COVID? Well, that stuck through, that are staying on board. They're not getting the sign-on bonuses. They're not getting a pay raise like they should. So in my opinion, the industry needs to step up and take care of it, and the culture has to come back. Before it was really smaller, privately owned dealerships, so it was more of a family thing. Everybody felt involved. I mean, now it's big corporations, it's publicly traded companies. It's not the same environment that it used to be, which is also hurting, which is getting people to leave. I mean, now the biggest joke is when the techs feel appreciated, when the dealer tries to make the techs feel appreciated, is they buy them pizza lunch. Trust me, the techs do not want that pizza lunch. They want, a culture. They want
right. I mean, that's the problem with corporations. I mean, corporations are not human centric by their nature. So are you finding people are like I almost say cross shopping, but somebody at a dealership who's unhappy, obviously he's looking at your site, looking around. I mean, that's probably going to help drive some change as well.
Yeah, well, we've also found times have changed. Before, people would be sitting there looking for a job. All the quality people and all of the quality salesmen, quality techs, they're all in a job already. So that's why it's also harder to find somebody. Nobody's just sitting at home looking for a job. Everybody has a job if they're good. But now it's up to the other stores or other groups to post something that attracts them to leave that job. You are now taking people from other places. Gone are the days that people were sitting around waiting to try to find a job. No, the good people have jobs. So now you have to present why people should come work for you instead. Because that's what we tell the dealers too. We're not a recruiter. We're not an agency. We're almost like your media platform. It's up to you guys to sell why somebody would want to work at your store. We're unbiased. I'm not going to tell, hey, this group is on that platform, go apply for them. No, these are in your area. See which one you match with best, and then take it from there. Because it'll show with our platform, the way it works is the groups are creating profiles, and so are the candidates. It's going to show how they match up with salary expectations, with distance, with schedules, with competencies, qualities, and skill sets that everybody has. So it's really showing how they match up. And it's up to the dealers to offer the best that they can. Now it really is a candidate's market.
So do you think by like putting salary expectations on your website, are you kind of breaking down the taboo about not talking about how much you make? I mean, that's always been a big thing, right? So two guys in the office, you don't talk about salary, right? No discussion, right? But I mean, that's always been kind of unfair to the employees because you don't know how much the guy's making. Sometimes people get jealous because they think they know what the guy's making. They don't really know.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, are you forcing the conversation to be more open?
Yes, definitely. I mean, some of the least performing ads we've seen are a confidential ad with salary to be discussed. And then they tell me, Scott, like, I didn't get any applicants. I'm like, would you apply? And same thing, even if they show the store that they're at, but it's salary to be discussed. I'm like, that's like having a dating profile, but not having a picture. You have to be transparent, and the people want to know. Even if it's a range, people accept the range. If it's 75 to 125, at least it's something. But not knowing, you're not going to attract people in. Those days are gone. You really need this. The employers need to sell themselves why, what the salary is and the compensation.
Okay, so on your site, so I create a profile, I have my skill set, have what I'm doing, and then does your algorithm like figure out what I'm going to be good with, and then give me some matches?
It's going to show you everything in the area. It's going to show you everything by the distance you set, and then it'll rank them after that. It'll show you where you match up, how you match up on each job. And then
is it a two-way communication thing where if I send a message out to them, or they can send a message to me?
No, it's the candidate must apply on the job.
Okay.
The employers can view anonymous profiles, and what that means is they're not going to see the name of the candidate. They're not going to see the employers that they're working at or any contact information. They're just going to see a blank image with how the stats match up. The employer can actively invite the candidates to apply as well on the job. But until the candidate presses apply, their profiles are fully anonymous. They're not going to see it. And after that, there's no chatting feature on the site after that. Once they go on to a phone call, as soon as the candidate authorizes them to see their profile. So it's not a back and forth chat.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, how much demand do you think there is across the country for like a website like yourself? Like, do you think that this is limitless? Like this is what people really want? Or is that what you're hearing from your candidates?
The candidates are a bit harder to come aboard. Everybody's used to what they're traditionally doing. So it's always harder to change. Whereas the business side, the employers see the future of this. Now, when we did come out with our app, we came out with our app for Apple users, Android one's coming. The Apple users downloaded the app. That was the easiest thing to communicate with the new generation is there's an app for it.
There's got to be an app, right? You don't have an app, you're not,
And especially during these times as well, I don't think they're realizing how the candidates are realizing how useful this tool is because it's so easy to find a job. Whereas the employers love it because it's innovative and it's forward thinking and it really is new technology. It's not just a regular job board. So for the employer side, everybody's on board.
Interesting. So, I mean, especially with new vehicles being more hard to work on, you're going to see a big influx, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Oh, and that's even back in the day, they were mechanics. No, they're not called mechanics anymore. They're technicians, or we've even seen technical vehicle engineers as a title, because that's really where it's going. You're not just, wrenching away, you're plugging in, you're scanning, you're reprogramming. So that aspect might bring some new people into the industry who like technology. They didn't want to just sit there doing oil changes all day or tire rotations, but now it's, hey, this is cool. Let's reprogram it. We're doing updates. It's a tech future for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it was. I mean, back when I was a kid, you started off as a porter, or you started off as a lube guy, right? So you did lube guy for a couple of years. Then you're you're able to become a mechanic after that. But you had to pay, take your time and pay your way. I mean, to get to that point. Now it's like these vehicles are, you need a computer degree, and I know a lot of mechanics who are great guys that it's like a separate part of their brain to be, wrenching on something in computer, another thing that doesn't always work together.
No, it's completely different. And that's why it's going to bring in a whole new aspect of people that, and even Lucid, who's one of the newer manufacturers, they have mobile technicians that are going to go out. So you're going to go out basically with your computer and a scanner and a whole system that you can diagnose a vehicle on the side of the road just by plugging it in, and try do repairs if possible from there. If not, then you put it on a flatbed. But you can't do that with just a normal internal combustion engine. You can't bring your whole toolbox and your whole shop and all your
Right.
with you, where electric vehicles can sometimes be fixed on the fly.
That's just crazy. I mean, look at companies like Safelite and stuff. So you can get your car worked on, fixed, and your windshield replaced. And don't leave your house.
No,
I mean, what else do you do on your Saturdays?
Yeah. But you see, there's constantly evolving these. And if you look at brands like Genesis or Lincoln, they'll pick up your vehicle for you when service it for you. So times are changing. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, for sure. But a site like ours, we're also going to be going into marine as well. We're going into the heavy industries because we do have some schools that came on with diesel mechanics, and they're looking for jobs. So there's always something related. So even if somebody was a salesman at a car dealer, well, we have Harley Davidson dealers on our site. We are going to get boat marinas that are coming on board as well. So they don't necessarily have to, as much as I want everybody to stay in the automotive industry, because that's where I came from, that's where my passion. We have other motor industries, and I could say that comfortably because I own a boat too. So I still, I don't mind if somebody goes from selling cars to selling boats, as long as I get a deal.
All right, what's the website again, one more time?
usamotorjobs.com.
Good stuff. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
All right, there you go. There's my interview with Scott. Thank you for being on the program. I will put a link to his website in the description and in the comments. Hope so. I'm doing vacation when this video goes live, so I'm going to try to get that done. But hey, thanks for watching. As always, make sure you check the video out over here, website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.